God bless you, my son.
God bless you.
Right on.
Bring with him those who have fallen asleep. Indeed, we tell you this on the word of the Lord. The weak who are alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will surely not receive those who have fallen asleep.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In verdant pastures he gives me repose. Beside restful waters he leads me. He refreshes my soul. He guides me in right paths for his name's sake. The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
The death of Jesus is a cure for our physical death, for he is the way, the truth, and the life, as he himself has told us. The word angel in Greek means messenger, messenger of God. We're all only human beings, not angels, but in a sense, any one of us can be a messenger of God, accomplishing his work. And in that sense, Mel H Kennedy might speak God's word from the other side of the grave to you, to us all. Do not fear death. Fear only separation from God. I am with God. I am in his hands now.
I feel very honored to be asked to deliver this eulogy for Mel. We were great friends. We had some great times together. As I thought about my remarks today, I kept coming back to the same thought. What would Mel like me to say to family and friends on this occasion? As I think all of you know, Mel is not a man of a lot of words. In fact, many times he was amazingly short, but always got the message across. He always knew where he was coming from. I think he would tell me that things that people might be interested in is tell them I had a good life. Tell them I was a darn good financial man. Tell them I was a pretty good golfer. And tell them I was probably better than most at that gin rubbing game. Most importantly, tell them I had a fantastic wife. My sweetie, as he affectionately called Becky. Tell them I had a great family. And if time permits, tell them a story or two about some of those trips we took. Some of those terrific places around the world. Mel's career was great after he left our firm as a member of several organizations before joining Marcona. I see some gentlemen here that knew Mel well from that era. Marcona and the subsequent entities was clearly his moment of glory. He enjoyed that work terrifically. He got a chance to travel internationally. He got the chance to go to different foreign countries, one of which was Peru, where he met Peggy, the love of his life. I don't think anybody probably had a better fringe benefit than that occasion when he met Among my favorite memories are the times we would go to their apartment up on Nob Hill. Mel referred to it as Upper Chinatown. We'd have a cocktail or two, go off to dinner, invariably a restaurant or the World Trade Club, and then we'd probably end up at the Fairmont Piano Bar. It was during these times that I had a chance to see the fun side of Mel. The loving person he was, always wanting a good time. Often we played a joke or two on Peggy, some of which I won't go into today, but maybe at lunch I can tell you some. I saw the soft side of it, a contrast to that very imposing, physical, masculine man we all knew. Well, we all know that Mel, during the last 5-10 years, had physical difficulties. He suffered more than he should. But importantly, his mind was always there. He never sought pity or showed any weakness. His spirit was always upbeat. I don't ever recall his complaining. He carried on life as he always did. He may not have been able to play golf, but he'd take on anybody at the domino or gin rummy game. And he was always up to that. Mel's devotion to Peggy was very strong. They were always together, particularly during the last 20 years. He loved going to that office. He, after all, was Peggy's administrative assistant, VP Finance. He had to keep the checkbook and all the others because he couldn't figure out what Peggy wrote in those little scripted handwritings whenever she wrote a check or two. So it was a matter of, I guess, fate that he take care of the books and keep things in order. As Deacon Roy said earlier, importantly, Peggy and Mel were together in that last hours of his life. Jeannie and Bob were also with him. The family he loved was united. He now can join Valerie. And as the philosophers and Socrates said about the separation of the body and spirit, be of good cheer and know this as a truth, that no evil can happen to a good man in life or after death. As I prepared my remarks today, I came across the works of a poet that is most fitting as an expression of Mel's love for Peggy. When I die, I want your hands on my eyes. I want the light and weight of your beloved hands to pass their freshness over me once more. I want to feel the softness that changed my destiny. I want you to live while I wait for you to sleep. I want your ears still to hear the wind. I want you to sniff the sea's aroma that we love together and to continue to walk in the sand we walked on. I want what I love to continue to live, and you whom I love and sing above everywhere else to continue to flourish will flower, so that you can reach everything my love directs you to, so that my shadow can travel in your hair, so that everything can learn the reason for my song. So in closing, I view this moment in many respects like those many trips, those fantastic trips that Mel and I, Peggy and my wife took to different and new places. The only difference is this time I'm staying behind. Melly Pooh, have a safe journey. Thank you. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Good, I hope. My name is Bob Kennedy. I'm Mel Kennedy's son. Of all people on the planet, I guess I can do the longest. I've known him for 61 and a half years. today is number one, say thank you very much for being here. Among the many things I learned from my father, one of the most important things to him was his friends. And here you are with him this next trip. The other thing I want to share with you is we've already had a smiley moment. Somebody's already said, Bob Bean, he's already said, Dad was a man of few words. His son, Robert Kennedy, is famous for being a man of many words. I could speak, as I told Peggy, I would love to speak for as long as I chose this morning about how many things I learned from this man. But she said, no, Bob, you got 3 minutes. Congratulations, Dad, you finally set up the kid. She also said I could go a little bit long, so I get to take a total of 4 minutes to share with you some of the things that I learned about him. And the first is that I have had a habit of saying over and over again some of the same things to many people. And over the last 20 years or so, I've said this man was my hero, and every year he gets to be more and more my hero. I want to tell you that this man is a great, great man. He shares, for me, only a couple of other people get to come anywhere near that class. A fellow by the name of Mickey Mantle, a gentleman by the name of Jerry Lewis, and maybe Joe Montana slides in there, but Dad's right in there with that group of my heroes. Because he was a man of so few words, and because I'm a man who has observed people for a long, long time, I can tell you that was one of his greatest attributes. Just using a few words, but his actions were what I learned from him. Sometime between 2 and 6, I'll never forget, looking up at this man, the closest I can think of to God on earth. That's the way he looked in my eyes. Never at any time did that ever change. He was always the same great man. The first 13 years of our life were a little bit rocky, maybe. He was a hard-working man. He was dedicated to his job. I often said he only took a vacation once a year, and that was to play in the Green Tea Invitational. That's the only time he took a vacation. The rest of the time he was working all the time. In the first 13 years of my life, he was kind of like the man behind the newspaper. So that when he and his first wife, my mom, got divorced, well, I think he taught me, and maybe I learned to think positively about everything that might not be so good. The good part was now Dad had to put me on his calendar. We started making appointments to see each other. An appointment to go bowling in Monterey or to play golf. You know, I'd often forgot. I spent every weekend with that man, carrying his bag as he played golf. He shot, well, Dad, it was usually 80 or above. Every once in a while it was less than 80. But that meant that 80 times I got to watch him do what he did. And he was dedicated to that too. So what do you suppose I learned? I learned it was important to be dedicated to the things that were important to him. As we got a little bit older, yes, he met Peggy, and that was definitely the day. But just a little bit before that, I watched that man get liberated a little bit. He was a hard-working fellow, took his responsibility very seriously, but he started to loosen up a little bit around the age of 35. I don't know why, I haven't got a clue, I just know that he did. And that was when he met Peggy. And if you don't know the two of them, but you do know Ronald Reagan and his wife, that's the way these people were and are today. He was a man of few words, yes. He told me once there's only 2 kinds of women in life. The kind you marry, and the kind you don't. He found one, and I said out of millions, to marry, and she was the best, and she still is. I've learned a number of other things from him, but I want to share with you perhaps a thank you to the deacon who suggested if a man has been this good for this long, this can't possibly be the end. This can't possibly be a bad thing. It has to be a good thing. That's the way it is, and that's the way it will always be. Recently, in the last couple of years, I've come closer to this notion of how people deal with death. I don't know why, but I was diagnosed with cancer about 5 years ago. It was the death sentence I was waiting for. It scared me to death. I fainted just automatically. Thanks to the big fella, I'm still here to talk about it. And I have seen some other people leave before me. 2 people diagnosed with cancer after I was. My sister, who you wouldn't think would pass before I would. And now my dad. And I really believe that as a result of these few experiences, that the truth is this is the next best thing, not the last worst thing. This is a good thing. Every morning now, I talk to my big fella, my other big fella, because I used to call him big fella. My other big fella, because it's good for me to talk to him in the morning. He makes me a better person. And he has shared with me the notion that there's one real easy thing we can do. We can talk in those famous words, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. If we don't know anything else to say or to ask, we can always say those things. And I'm extremely grateful to say that as a result of my father, those words have been added to, because every morning when I pray, every afternoon and every evening, I get to say, Our Father who art in heaven. And I know he's there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And God bless you all.
We extend to you, Jeannie, Bob, and all of the grandsons, our deepest sympathies and condolences. We also thank you for having this celebration of life, so that to allow those of us here, with many friends, a chance to reminisce and remember the very good things that we know about Mel and how much we have enjoyed him in our life. Also, I must say that in Palma Valley over the past 2 weeks, it seems that virtually all of your friends have called and come by and knew that we would be coming north, and would we extend their sympathies and best wishes to you and the family. And also, we were at Lazy Age of the country club, why the staff all loved to serve, made Mel and Peggy, and through their dinner hours and things, all came forward and asked to be remembered. And they send their condolences to you. The first vivid observation I found in Mel was that he was a tenacious competitor with superior intelligence, a charming wit, and clearly was a man who had earned his position in life through hard work, committed to the very ethical principles of how he lived his life and succeeded in business. Everything had a logical reason, and he was prepared to define his rationale in a very positive and convincing manner. But his ability to infuse his wry sense of humor was disarming, and soon his position would be one of consensus of the group. Now in Palm Valley, we had a wonderful group of leaders that we referred to as the Round Table. And they would share morning coffee, weekly lunches, and they had an open forum of any subject issue that might arise. And believe me, they became legendary in their ability to resolve and have an answer of solving each of those issues. And sometimes they might not even be called upon for their wisdom, but they were eager to provide it, and they would make sure that the input was forward. Mel also had, as we all know, a real love for the game of golf. From his early caddy days to his Army stint, and then particularly through his early years as a member of the Green Hills Country Club. Mel had a wonderful, still has a wonderful photo collection of the many tournaments that he played in, and it would be a walk through memory lane as he would look at the pictures of who he played with at tournaments, Joe DiMaggio, those great names, great times, and he would walk through, and it was really just a total enjoyment of that.
A friend is a gift that you give to yourself. I received my gift from Mel Kennedy 14 or 15 years ago when he and Peggy came to our home for a cocktail. Sally and Peggy had met in the course of the interior design business, and one thing, as they say, led to another, and they decided that cocktails and dinner would be a good idea. I was advised ahead of time that having a little George Scotch on the shelf would be a good idea. My first impression of Mel when he came through the door was, boy, he's pretty tall. And then, well, he dresses like $1,000,000. And by the end of the first round of cocktails, hey, he's really a neat guy. Now, 15 years later, nothing has happened. change that first impression that evening. He went through many physical setbacks in the past few years, but he always rallied, and he never seemed to lose that wonderful sense of humor. There's a quotation: "I have drunk from wells that I did not dig, and I have warmed myself by fires that I did not build." I can honestly say that I was one of those who was warmed by the fire of Mel's friendship, and I drank from the well of his knowledge and his wisdom. I shall miss him very much.
Good, good.
Okay, Racket Club. We'll see you up there, huh?
Good. You're not going to tell me where either?
We're going to bring tennis rackets.
Somebody's got to tell the camera.
The Hillsborough Racket Club.
Oh, the Racket Club.
Okay.
Oh, do we know how to get there?
No.
Oh, no.
You go left and then you go right.
Yeah, actually you go, no, you can't get there from here.
Father. You look like your father.
Yes, that's what they say. The older I get, the more I look like him.
You look just like your father.
That's what they... God bless you, my son.
God bless you.
Right on.